A financial block placed on you last April will intensify on June 10th, 2025. Archangel Michael says, you must open this now to reverse it. Don't ignore. There are some warnings you can dismiss without consequence. This isn't one of them. On a spiritual level, something happened in April of last year that altered the path of your prosperity. You might have felt it as sudden stagnancy, deals falling through, money disappearing without explanation, or breakthroughs slipping right out of reach. Archangel Michael has now revealed the date of impact, June 10th, 2025. The energy that bound you is not gone. It is scheduled to intensify. If you've been sensing a rising pressure, confusion, or a strange silence around your progress, this is why. Heaven's timing is precise, and this message isn't random. You didn't click on this accidentally. This is divine intervention reaching through the static. Someone, or something, cast a restriction over your flow, and it was subtle enough that you brushed it off as bad luck. But this wasn't luck. This was spiritual sabotage. Someone witnessed your light rising last year and spoke words, or invoked energy, to intercept your financial release. The energy was not permanent, but the window to reverse it is closing fast. Archangel Michael isn't sending comfort in this moment. He's sending clarity. Because what you do next will either open or shut the gates of divine flow. This isn't just about money. It's about legacy, elevation, and impact. You were chosen to rise, but the force against you doesn't want your name in rooms of power. That's why this block was placed. But heaven is just. And when a truth is revealed, you are responsible for acting on it. Type I am rising to get the blessing 4896. You will begin to notice the signs all around you. Delays disguised as detour. Closed doors that never should have been shut. Relationships that dried up the moment you started moving toward purpose. It wasn't a coincidence that things felt lighter before April 2024. The shift was orchestrated to blend in with ordinary hardship. But Michael says you must separate the natural from the supernatural. This is not just a financial dip. It's a divine interruption. Michael has kept silent until now because you weren't ready to hear. But as June 10th approaches, the energy that was dormant will begin to choke the flow of what is rightfully yours. Your mind may doubt this. That is by design. The block comes with confusion, so you question your worth, your steps, your own discernment. But make no mistake, your delay has a name, and it has a time-stamp. The heavens are watching how you respond now. Type I am anointed to get blessing 9999. There is a moment behind every curse, a point in time where intention meets access, where someone, knowingly or not, activates energy that latches onto your destiny. Archangel Michael says that moment was last April. Someone you trusted, or someone who once celebrated you, became threatened by your spiritual acceleration. They didn't need candles or rituals. All it took was words laced in envy, spoken in the dark, hidden behind smiles. That's how the block was born. You weren't supposed to notice it immediately. The enemy's tactic was subtlety, make you believe you were the problem, that your hustle wasn't hard enough, that your prayers weren't pure enough, that maybe God had forgotten you. But it wiled you. The shift in momentum wasn't internal. It was spiritual sabotage. Archangel Michael reveals that it started with a delay, then a denial, then complete disconnection from overflow. Each stage meant to make you numb and silent. And yet you persisted. You kept showing up. You kept believing even when the ground beneath you felt unstable. Heaven recorded every tear you didn't show, every late night you tried to fix what wasn't broken in you. Michael wants you to know you were never the problem. What was placed on you was foreign. It was not divine instruction. It was interference. And interference must be broken, not tolerated. Type I am rising to get the blessing 5712. April 2024 wasn't just another month. It was a pivot in the spirit. Heaven had cleared a path for your elevation. You were scheduled to step into a new realm of visibility, income, and impact. The atmosphere around you shifted, and someone sensed it. Whether out of jealousy or ignorance, they released a vibration that clung to your name. That vibration carried an assignment. Slow them down. Steal their momentum. Turn their blessing into a burden. That's why even when opportunities came, they vanished. Even when you worked harder, the results thinned. The more you tried to fix it, the worse it seemed to get. Because what you were fighting wasn't physical, it was spiritual. Archangel Michael has held back the full weight of this interference. But now, with June 10th nearing, the pressure is increasing. What was once subtle will now attempt to suffocate. Your discernment is being tested. Will you treat this like another vague warning, or will you rise and cancel what was spoken? The enemy hopes you will shrug this off, that you wait too long. But your delay could be costly, not just financially but generationally. What you don't break now, your children may have to battle. That's why heaven is screaming this into your spirit. Reverse it now. Type I am anointed to get blessing 8444. This block isn't just a wall, it's a filter. Everything trying to reach you, favor, finances, open doors, gets distorted or delayed. Have you noticed the pattern? Money comes, then disappears. Contracts pause at the finish line. People say yes, then vanish without reason. It's not bad timing. It's a filter that was placed on your field. A spiritual distortion that redirects your blessings elsewhere. Michael is not only revealing this, he's offering angelic assistance to destroy it. But you must give permission. Heaven respects your will. You must speak against what was spoken over you. Not in fear, but in boldness. Say, I reject what was not assigned by God. I break every chain of sabotage. I call my finances, favor, and flow back into divine alignment. When you speak this, you activate Michael's sword on your behalf. Type I am chosen to get the blessing 6781. The reason this warning carries a date is because time is involved. Spiritual blocks operate in cycles, and the next surge of this block is tied to June 10th. If you don't interrupt the cycle, the energy intensifies. You may feel it already, a strange resistance to even small progress. You may even be fatigued in ways that don't match your activity. Is it the block tightening? But now that it's exposed, it's also breakable. Michael has waited until now because your spirit is finally strong enough to confront it. You've matured through the pain, and now you can reclaim what was lost. The first step: believe. You must believe this message is for you. Second, action. Declare. Fast. Anoint your home. Speak life into your finances. And most importantly, refuse to partner with a lie that you're broken. You are not broken. You are under siege. But victory is still yours. Type I am free to get the blessing 3925. The block placed against you was not random. Archangel Michael reveals that it was strategically designed to mimic struggle so you'd never identify it as spiritual. It was calculated to look like normal hardship, a delayed payment here, a minor rejection there, emotional instability that seemed like burnout. But over time, these seemingly disconnected events became a synchronized pattern. Not because of what you were doing wrong, but because of what was sent to stop what you were doing right. This block was tailored to your calling. It didn't hit your health, relationships, or confidence first. It targeted your provision. Why? Because the enemy knows your purpose requires resources. If your hands are tight financially, your vision remains locked in your mind instead of manifesting in the world. That's why the interference went straight for your finances. Not to punish you, but to paralyze your impact. To leave you stuck in survival instead of stepping into overflow. Archangel Michael says this wasn't just spiritual jealousy. It was spiritual warfare masked in familiarity. Someone with access to your energy, your conversations, your emotions, knew just enough to release words that activated interference. Whether intentional or unconscious, they uttered statements in frustration, bitterness, or fear that shifted the flow around you. Their words created a barrier that blocked your blessings mid-air. Type I am protected to get the blessing 7,345. That's why things that were meant for you began detouring. Not disappearing, just circling. Blessings that should have landed months ago are still hovering, waiting for the atmosphere to clear. This is not a loss. This is delay. And delay can be reversed when the truth is exposed. Heaven wants you to know, nothing promised to you has been deleted, only suspended. But the suspension ends when you step into revelation and declare divine reversal. Your financial atmosphere is not just economic, it's energetic. And the energy has been tampered with. It's time to re-establish dominion over your flow. Michael says, speak out loud. I command every resource assigned to my name to locate me now. Every delay sent to block me is broken. Every word curse dissolves in the name of divine justice. Say it like you mean it. Say it like your freedom depends on it, because it does. This is where your authority begins. Not just knowing the sabotage existed, but refusing to allow it to remain. Heaven is on your side, but your voice must align with your destiny. The enemy cannot overpower you unless you stay silent. Your silence is consent. And you've been silent for too long, confused by false responsibility, believing maybe this hardship was earned. It wasn't. It was imposed. Type I'm rising to get the blessing 8,562. The spiritual realm responds to clarity. Confusion was the first weapon used against you, and now clarity is your sword. Clarity reclaims space. It breaks every chain placed on your name through careless whispers and passive envy. Michael urges you to revisit every promise you've put on pause because of financial limitation. Dust it off. Speak it aloud again. Because what you believe enough to declare, you give heaven permission to deliver. Someone saw you blooming and panicked. Instead of asking how they could grow too, they tried to stunt your garden. But they didn't realize your roots were divine. You're not easily uprooted. You've endured winds they never imagined. And though your leaves may have wilted for a season, your roots stayed anchored in divine soil. That's why Michael is fighting for you, because you are still aligned, still worthy, still chosen. Type I am anointed to get blessing 6,097. There are laws in the spirit. One of them is restoration after exposure. Once a scheme is revealed and named, it begins to unravel. But only if you agree to confront it. That's what this message is. It's heaven naming what was hidden. And now, you must participate in your freedom. Don't just feel this message, act on it. Open your mouth and break the agreement. Cancel the words that were spoken without your permission. Cancel every voice that said they don't deserve that. Cancel every lie whispered in rooms you never entered. Cancel every frequency that said they are not ready when God had already said you were. Cancel it not with fear, but with fire. Stand in spiritual rebellion against every limitation not placed by God. This is your financial uprising. This is your reclaiming. This is your reversal. If this message has encouraged or inspired you, consider showing your support with a super thanks. Contributions of up to $20 go a long way in helping us continue creating content that uplifts and empowers. You can also support us directly through PayPal by clicking the Support Here link in the video description. Every donation helps us keep sharing messages that make a difference. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Join us for ongoing prophetic insight, spiritual encouragement, and timely words to keep you walking in step with heaven's purpose. Type I am claiming back to get the blessing 7210. The problem isn't that you've lacked effort. It's that the enemy knew effort alone would never be enough to override what was spiritually assigned to bind your flow. Archangel Michael says this is not the kind of battle you win with hustle alone. You've already tried that. You prayed and worked and waited. You've sacrificed rest. You've put dreams on hold. You've convinced yourself that the delays were teaching you discipline. But discipline isn't the issue. Something was placed on your name that now needs to be broken. Financial warfare operates on patterns. And one of those patterns is depletion, where every increase is followed by an equal or greater decrease. Have you noticed it? You gain a little, then lose a lot. You receive a blessing, then an unexpected expense devours it. The joy of financial relief is always short-lived. That's not coincidence. That's a spiritual loop. The kind that was triggered when that block was placed on you last April. It didn't always feel like a curse. Sometimes it came disguised as generosity, giving too much to the wrong people. Other times it looked like mismanagement, but deep down you knew the numbers didn't add up. Your income didn't match your outcomes. No matter how much came in, something drained it. Fast, quietly, and consistently. You thought maybe you were just being irresponsible. But Michael says that with the curse in disguise. Type I am breaking cycles to get the blessing 4108. It's time to break the loop. It's time to stop budgeting for survival and start preparing for overflow. But not from the outside in, from the inside out. You must cleanse your financial atmosphere. That means silence the voices in your spirit that say, it's always going to be this way. Because those words were planted by the energy that seeks to keep you broke, small, and scared. Speak louder than it now. Say, I am aligned with divine supply. My hands are blessed. My seed returns a harvest. My wallet is not cursed, it's chosen. Archangel Michael has released angels of finance, messengers assigned to reverse the effects of that spiritual embargo. But they cannot override your agreement. Your agreement is your authority. You must agree with freedom to cancel poverty. You must agree with favor to end delay. You must agree with divine access to stop the sabotage. The agreement begins with your decision to stop expecting loss and start expecting fulfillment. Do not be surprised if people fall away during this reversal process. Some of them were carriers of the original interference. As your atmosphere clears, they'll either change or flee. Let them. When heaven shifts your frequency, not everyone can stay tuned in. You're not being abandoned, you're being insulated. What's coming next requires space, focus, and spiritual hygiene. Don't grieve the loss. Celebrate the protection. Type I am covered to get the blessing 8822. Financial clarity is about more than numbers. It's about energy. Who are you letting speak into your money? Who are you allowing access to your plans, your ideas, your vision? Not everyone who listens deserves to hear. Not everyone who agrees with you carries good intentions. Some people were clapping with one hand and cursing with the other. But Archangel Michael says, silence is your new strategy. Protect what you're building until it's rooted enough to withstand envy. There's a reason this message came to you now and not before. Because now your faith is mature enough to hold what's being revealed. You adored enough to trust your own discernment. You're no longer desperate for approval, and that makes you dangerous to spiritual sabotage. You can't be manipulated by false promises. You're not easy to fool anymore, and the enemy knows it. That's why the pressure has increased lately, because you're close to full reversal. Type I'm chosen to get the blessing 9983. This is a season of retrieval. Every dollar lost under deception. Every opportunity delayed because of spiritual fog. Every door that was locked by hidden sabotage. Heaven is opening up a vault with your name on it. But you must make room for it. Clear your spiritual inbox. Delete the guilt, the fear, the self-blame. Those emotions are not required for breakthrough. What is required? Belief, boldness, alignment, in silence when necessary. You're not here to survive your finances. You're here to command them. You're not here to chase miracles. You're here to walk in them. Michael reminds you, the same hands that have labored in lack will soon hold abundance. But your heart must expand first. You cannot carry bitterness into breakthrough. You cannot carry fear into overflow. This next level will not accommodate past weights. Type I am expanding to get the blessing 3147. There are signs that something was planted against you. You just didn't know how to read them. Until now. Archangel Michael says you've been living inside a storm disguised as a dry spell. You were never without potential. You were never without favor. What you were without was excess. Not because of your lack of effort or faith, but because someone tampered with the spiritual locks that guard your divine release. That tampering showed up as signs, but your exhaustion made you ignore them. The first sign was repetition. The same scenario replaying in different areas, getting close to a win, only to watch it unravel without warning. Opportunities that seemed promising suddenly vanished. People made commitments, then vanished into silence. Payments delayed, emails ignored, support promised but never delivered. That's not life being random, that's interference creating cycles. Patterns of almost success followed by sudden collapse. Patterns of momentum, then confusion. The second sign was distortion. People misunderstood your motives. Partners questioned your value. Even when you communicated clearly, it didn't land. Your ideas seemed strong, yet others failed to see the vision. That fog, that misalignment, that wasn't coincidence. It was spiritual distortion around your name. An atmosphere that clouded your credibility, so that what should have been embraced was instead dismissed. That fog was sent to keep you invisible. Type I am seen to get the blessing 5234. The third sign was fatigue. Not just physical, but spiritual exhaustion. Waking up already tired. Losing motivation for things you once loved. Feeling detached from your calling, questioning your purpose. Not because you were lazy, but because something was draining you in the spirit. A siphon attached to your energetic flow. You'd rest, but never feel restored. You'd take breaks, but never feel rebuilt. Because restoration can't happen when the source is still leaking. Archangel Michael says that leak ends now. It ends when you seal your spiritual borders and reclaim the energy that was stolen. You must declare, I call back my strength. I call back my voice. I call back every fragment of my power scattered by delay, deception, or distraction. The moment you declare this, you shift the current. You rewire your spiritual connection to divine abundance. There is power in naming the signs because it stops the gaslighting of the spirit. You no longer blame yourself for being under attack. You stop explaining away divine interference as just life. And now, it was targeted. But now it's also time-bound. It had a start. And now, it will have an end. June 10th isn't your breakdown. It's your break open. The heavens are counting on your awareness. This message is the final notice before reversal begins. Type I'm shifting to get the blessing 8666. Another overlooked sign. Emotional instability around money. One day hopeful, the next day hopeless. Excited when money comes, panicked when it goes. That instability wasn't just anxiety. It was an energy imbalance created by the financial block. You were made to feel like money was the master, not the tool. You were conditioned to respond to financial shifts with fear instead of faith. But that mindset is being reset right now. You will no longer be a slave to digits or balance sheets. You are not chasing paper. You're aligning with purpose. Abundance flows where assignment lives. And your assignment is divine. When you realize that, money becomes a servant, not a god. Michael says this is your emancipation from financial fear. That chronic worry ends here. Because it's not about working harder, it's about working from healing. Yes, some people left you when your finances shifted. That was another sign. When the flow slowed, so did their loyalty. When the giving stopped, so did their praise. That's how heaven showed you who was tied to your overflow versus who was tied to your identity. Do not mourn those exits. Celebrate them. They were attachments to the very block that was sent to keep you down. Their silence was your clarity. I'm free from false ties to get the blessing 7155. Pay attention to the final sign, dreams and visions. You've had them, even recently. Symbolic messages in your sleep. Repetitive numbers. Shadows of warning. Faces of people you haven't thought of in years. Emotional impressions you couldn't shake. These weren't just dreams. They were spiritual alerts. Archangel Michael has been trying to get your attention through the language of the subconscious. And now, the signal is loud and clear. You are not crazy. You are not dramatic. You are not doing too much. You are waking up. And when your spirit wakes up, your atmosphere must follow. This is not about superstition. It's about strategy. You've been kept quiet long enough. Now you speak. How do you move? Now you reverse every sign, every cycle, every silence. Your breakthrough was never missing. It was just routed. But now the map has been corrected. Type I am aligned to get the blessing 3922. Archangel Michael says, now that the block has been revealed, you can no longer pretend it doesn't exist. What you know spiritually must now guide what you do practically. Reversal doesn't begin with noise. It begins with truth. It begins with a bold acknowledgement that something was stolen, misdirected, or buried. It begins with the courage to say, that wasn't just bad luck. That wasn't just me. That was interference. And I do not consent to it anymore. You must stop blaming yourself for what was spiritually tampered with. Guilt is not a path to restoration. Clarity is when you are clear that what you were battling was never internal. You free yourself from false shame. You stop trying to fix what was never broken in you. You stop treating sabotage like self-sabotage. You stop drinking your prayers because you think you're asking for too much. No, what you were asking for was already yours. It was delayed, not denied. The power of reversal is this. Once you realize the source of the resistance, you can redirect it. You can speak to the energy, not just the evidence. You stop managing symptoms and start dismantling the root. Archangel Michael is not just revealing what happened. He's offering you divine strategy to cancel it. But it requires your voice, your agreement, and your refusal to return to ignorance. Type I am no longer blind to get the blessing 7747. Some of you will be tempted to ignore this part of the journey. You'll tell yourself, I've already prayed. I've already tried. But Michael says, this is not a repeat of the old season. This is not another prayer loop. This is divine enforcement. This is the moment your voice activates angelic warfare. But it must be specific. Vague prayers produce vague outcomes. You must say out loud, every spiritual delay attached to my money, my momentum, and my calling is broken by divine law. Heaven responds to bold specificity. Say, every word spoken against my rise is null and void. Every trap set in envy is reversed. Every hidden hand working against my prosperity is exposed and removed. Speak it again and again until your atmosphere bends under the weight of your faith. Because the enemy did not expect you to wake up. The block was counting on your silence. But now, silence is no longer your strategy. Clarity is. Reversal begins in stages. First comes awareness. Then comes warfare. Then comes reclamation. You are now entering the warfare stage. This means things may temporarily intensify, not because you're off course, but because the enemy is panicking. The storm before the stillness isn't failure, it's confirmation. When old triggers arise, speak louder. When fear whispers, declare louder. When exhaustion hits, rest but don't retreat. Type I am in warfare, not weakness to get the blessing 6431. The financial block wasn't just meant to keep you broke, it was meant to keep you distracted. Because when your mind is wrapped around survival, you stop dreaming. You stop planning. You stop thinking generationally. The block didn't just come for your wallet, it came for your future. But what the enemy didn't account for was your resilience, your faith, your access to divine truth. That's why this message is so dangerous to the spiritual forces against you. It's pulling you out of survival mode. Michael says, make no apology for choosing abundance now. This is not about greed. This is about alignment. You were not created to live hand-to-mouth forever. You were not meant to fear your bank account. You were designed to bless nations, fund visions, and live in overflow. And anything blocking that isn't humility, it's warfare. You must stop labeling struggle as spiritual maturity. Poverty is not your portion. Lack is not your teacher. Your destiny does not require suffering as proof of readiness. You have been overqualified for this next level. The only thing missing hath been access. And now that access is returning. Slowly, then suddenly. First in your spirit, then in your wallet. First in your language, then in your lifestyle. First in your vibration, then in your victories. But you must protect this shift. Because the same spirits that sent the block will now try to send distractions. Type I'm rising again to get the blessing 5088. In the days ahead expect tested. Expect hot conversations. Expect people resurfacing with half-true apologies or strange emotional pulls. Be discerning. Not every olive branch is divine. Some are sent to reattach the very cord you just cut. Michael says, do not re-enter spiritual agreements with people who were vessels of sabotage. Forgive but do not rebond. Bless them, but do not blend your energy with them again. This reversal comes with a cost. Your silence is no longer welcome. Your boundaries must rise. Your standards must speak. And your time, energy, and money must be invested only where there is spiritual reciprocity. You are no longer allowed to leak in the name of love. Every seed now must produce harvest. Every yes must be protected by discernment. Every dollar released must obey divine assignment. Type I am in harvest mode to get the blessing 3376. Archangel Michael now shifts your attention to the remedy, unlocking your financial flow. What was blocked can be unlocked. What was delayed can be delivered. But the key is not just in prayer, it's in positioning. You must position your heart, your habits, and your expectations to receive. The financial stream that's been dammed up by invisible resistance is ready to break open, but it will only flow toward someone who has cleared the channel. That clearing begins within you. You've repented for things that were never your fault. You've apologized for wanting more. You've quieted your ambitions to make others comfortable. And heaven took notice. Now Michael says it's time to reverse that posture. You will no longer bow to lack disguised as humility. You will no longer shrink in rooms where your overflow could serve others. The block was meant to convince you that wanting more was selfish. But it wasn't. It was prophetic. Your desire for more was confirmation of your divine assignment. This is the moment you stop trying to survive money and begin to steward it. Heaven cannot release what you have no plan to handle. That's why the first financial shift must be internal. Start talking like you expect money to stay. Start planning like the blessing is coming. Don't wait until it arrives, create space for it now. Because flow doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who prepare. Type I am making space to get the blessing 2649. Everything that was stolen from you has a spiritual ledger. Nothing lost has gone unnoticed. Archangel Michael reveals that there is a tally in heaven of the time, energy, resources, and ideas that were diverted by this block. And what's coming back to you won't just match the loss. It will exceed it. This is a harvest season based on injustice, a divine repayment for what was wrongly withheld. But the repayment requires something from you, belief in your worthiness. You've been told to lower your expectations so you don't feel disappointed again. But Michael says the opposite. Raise your expectations so heaven knows what to release. You cannot receive what you do not expect. You cannot hold what you do not prepare for. Start speaking over your finances now. My hands are channels of divine abundance. I receive wisdom with wealth. I welcome strategies with increase. Money flows to me for divine purpose. This is how the flow begins again, not through effort, but through energy. When your inner world aligns with divine flow, your outer world must respond. You don't have to chase blessings when you become magnetic to them. That magnetic pull begins with language. Speak with wealth, not want. Think in terms of overflow, not just enough. Align your decisions, your relationships, and your self-worth with what you're asking God to release. Type I am a magnet for overflow to get the blessing 8765. There are financial portals that open when obedience meets revelation. You've received the revelation. Now the obedience begins. That means managing what you have like it's already multiplied. That means tracking your spending not out of fear, but out of honor. That means no longer engaging in conversations rooted in poverty thinking. You must silence every voice that glorifies struggle as holy. It is not. Abundance is holy. Order is divine. Excellence is sacred. You are being called higher. You've been praying for overflow while living in survival mode. Now, heaven is calling you into stewardship. Stop saying I can't afford that and start saying it's not aligned right now. That shift in language removes scarcity and invites discernment. Scarcity blocks vision, but discernment activates access. And access is what you've been missing, not ability, not effort, just divine access. But now, Michael is swinging the gates wide open. When you honor flow, it honors you. Every dollar has an assignment. Every increase has an instruction. Listen. Ask your spirit, what is this increase for? Is it to plant? To pay off? To protect something? To prepare for what's ahead? When you listen, money stops being chaotic and starts being obedient. That's how the reversal sustains itself. When money becomes your tool, not your tormentor. Type I am aligned with increase to get the blessing 6482. Expect strange breakthroughs in the days ahead. Unexpected deposits. Canceled debts. Jurtitive connections. Ideas that come while you're resting. Don't question them. Move with them. Because when the dam breaks, the water moves fast. You must ride the wave. Don't delay in hesitation. Don't second-guess divine timing. This is the momentum you've prayed for. It's finally here. It's finally yours. But protected. Don't announce every blessing too early. Don't share the vision until it's rooted. There are still people watching with eyes of envy, and not all resistance has disappeared. The difference is now you have spiritual tools. Now you have clarity. Now you have boundaries. That means the block can never rebuild, unless you let it. But you won't. Because now you are wise. You are armed. You are anointed. If this message has encouraged or inspired you, consider showing your support with a super thanks. Contributions of up to $20 go a long way in helping us continue creating content that uplifts and empowers. You can also support us directly through PayPal by clicking the support here link in the video description. Every donation helps us keep sharing messages that make a difference. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Join us for ongoing prophetic insight, spiritual encouragement, and timely words to keep you walking in step with heaven's purpose. Type I'm ready for the rain to get the blessing 5590. Forgiveness might seem unrelated to money, but Archangel Michael says it's one of the most powerful spiritual tools to unlock abundance. Why? Because unforgiveness is a spiritual clog. It clogs your energy, your discernment, and your divine access. It anchors you to past betrayals, which becomes the breeding ground for delay. And what was sent against you last April may have succeeded not because you were weak, but because you were wounded, and that wound was left unhealed. When someone placed that financial block over your name, it wasn't just an attack, it was a violation. And with every violation comes residue, bitterness, resentment, confusion. That residue lingers unless it's cleared with intentional spiritual detox. Forgiveness is not excusing what happened. Forgiveness is saying, you will not have power over my future. You cannot rise financially while tethered emotionally to betrayal. This is why your next deposit will require your next release. Michael isn't asking you to trust again. He's asking you to free your flow. Because the blessing that's coming needs an unburdened vessel. The heavens are prepared to deliver a harvest, but they cannot pour into a clenched spirit. You must open your soul before your hand opens. And that opening begins when you say, I forgive the ones who cursed me, who envied me, who mishandled me. I for them favor me. I choose flow over grudge. Type I am releasing them to get the blessing 4171. You were justified in your anger. The sabotage was real. The betrayal was intentional. The consequences were costly. But carrying the pain won't reverse the curse. Releasing it will. And forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means no longer feeding the wound. It means choosing healing over history. It means choosing legacy over lament. Michael says, this release isn't optional if you want the floodgates open. It's mandatory. Your destiny demands space. If you're thinking, but they never apologized, you're right. They won't. And that's exactly why heaven is watching how you respond. Because what they won't release with their lips, you must release with your spirit. You are not waiting on closure. You are creating it. Your financial inheritance depends on this emotional shift. The moment you let go, the moment you speak release, angels begin moving things into alignment that have been stuck for months, some even years. Sometimes, the greatest block to wealth is not external. It's internal resistance rooted in hurt. Hurt from being overlooked. Hurt from being stolen from. Hurt from being undervalued. That hurt creates vows in your subconscious like, I'll never let anyone get close again, or I have to do everything alone. Those vows become bricks. Bricks become walls. And walls block wealth. Not just in money, but in support, ideas, and opportunities. Type I am breaking inner vows to get the blessing 6014. Your healing is your wealth. When your spirit is whole, money flows without fear. When your soul is clear, decisions become precise. You stop second-guessing every opportunity. You stop self-sabotaging blessings. You stop playing small to protect your heart. Michael says, this is a season of inner alignment. You will see financial growth in proportion to emotional growth. The richer your peace, the wider your pavilion. So how do you know you've forgiven? When the thought of them no longer shifts your mood. When your memory stops stealing your energy. When you can say their name without bitterness blooming in your chest. When you can thank God for the lesson and release the pain. This is your financial detox. This is your emotional exodus. This is you choosing destiny over drama. And once you've made that choice, the gates open. Not because the pain didn't matter, but because it no longer owns you. Not because the betrayal wasn't real, but because it no longer rules you. And from that space, heaven sends restoration. Divine payback for the time lost. Double portion for the seed stolen. Unexplainable favor that leaves even your enemy silent. But none of that can reach you unless you release the weight. Type I am healed and ready to get the blessing 2929. You may cry as you release. Let it come. Heaven hears every tear. They are not weakness, they are spiritual signals. They are proof you're ready. That you're done carrying what was never yours to hold. That you're done renting space in your soul to old pain. That you're serious about overflow. This is more than forgiveness, it's a declaration. A declaration that says, nothing and no one from my past will have power over my next. So now, breathe. Speak their name, silently or aloud, and release them. Speak your own name, and bless yourself. Say, I bless my hands. I bless my future. I bless my finances. I bless my forgiveness. Nothing held against me shall hold me back. I choose freedom, and freedom chooses me. That is the sound of chains breaking. That is the frequency of flow returning. Type I am emotionally free to get the blessing 8844. Archangel Michael says, you've cleansed your soul, now cleanse your space. Because overflow cannot land where chaos still reigns. What's coming to you is sacred, and sacred things require sanctified environments. That doesn't mean perfection, it means intention. You must now walk through your life, your home, your workspace, and even your digital world, and ask, does this reflect the abundance I'm asking for? If the answer is no, then it's time to reset. Your environment carries spiritual weight. Every object, every sound, every scent, every word spoken within your space either attracts or repels divine energy. That old stack of unpaid bills sitting on the table, it holds vibration. That drawer filled with things tied to past pain, it holds memory. That corner you haven't touched in months, it holds stagnancy. Michael says, heaven wants to send increase, but your current space must be willing to hold it. This isn't about aesthetics, it's about alignment. You cannot ask for a financial reset and still live among remnants of your last failure. You cannot speak of new beginnings while sleeping next to yesterday's disappointment. It's time to bless your environment, not just with candles or oils, but with new intentions. Walk your space and declare, this place is ready for abundance. My walls will echo peace. My air will carry provision. My floor will welcome divine steps. Type I am resetting my space to get the blessing 3351. Start with sound. What plays around you while you work, rest, or create? Is it noise that numbs your spirit or sound that stirs your soul? Replace chaos with clarity. Play music that lifts. Speak affirmations aloud. Let your space hear the future before it arrives. The walls must absorb your vision so they can echo it back in manifestation. Michael says your voice is an atmosphere shifter. Use it. Next, to shift your visuals. What are you looking at every day? Is it clutter that speaks of delay? Or images that prophesy wealth? Surround yourself with symbols of what you're stepping into. That doesn't mean you have to buy expensive decor. It means being intentional. A picture that speaks of peace. A vision board that aligns with destiny. An affirmation on the mirror that calls you into purpose. These are spiritual technologies, not just decorations. Then, tend to your tools. If you're a writer, clear your desk. If you're a speaker, organize your notes. If you're a coach, review your materials. If you're an entrepreneur, clean your product shelves. These small actions are prophetic. When you prepare your tools, you invite divine assignments. Heaven will not release opportunities to a space that is spiritually dusty. Clean your field so the rain can fall. Type I am making room for destiny to get the blessing 5193. Michael also warns, don't overlook your digital space. Clean your inbox. Delete the old arguments, the emotional downloads from past seasons, the fear-based content, the messages that drained your energy. You're creating a vortex of readiness. Your phone, your laptop, your browser history, it all speaks. And now, it must say, I'm ready. Ready for clarity. Ready for clients. Ready for contacts. Ready for God ideas. Ready for overflow. Even your clothes speak. Go through your wardrobe. Remove what no longer fits, literally and spiritually. There are garments from seasons of grief that keep your vibration tied to survival. Release them. Make room for what reflects the version of you that is emerging. The healed you. The paid in full you. The walking in purpose you. Every time you dress, you prophecy. Let your reflection remind you that you are the embodiment of answered prayers. Michael also says to check your fridge and pantry. Are you feeding your future or numbing your soul? This is not about shame, it's about sharpening. The body is the altar. What you consume affects how you hear, how you feel, and how you create. Eat to stay clear. Drink water like it's holy. Sit at the table like royalty. Don't just feed yourself, nourish yourself. Because wealth lives in wholeness. Type I am a vessel of worth to get the blessing 7,490. Finally, bless your bed. It is the gate between the seen and the unseen. Your dreams are sacred. Your rest is prophetic. Speak over your pillow. Tonight, I will receive divine downloads. Tonight, I will rest in overflow. Tonight, I reset with the breath of angels surrounding me. Then lie down in full expectation. Because when you sleep in peace, heaven works in power. You are not helpless, you are held. All of this, Michael says, is preparation. The blessing was never just about what you do. It was about what you hold space for. You are now holding space for freedom, for strategy, for income, for rest, for clarity, for restoration. Let nothing in your environment contradict that. Every item, every scent, every thought, every sound, let it align. Let it agree. Let it declare we are ready. Type I am surrounded by abundance to get the blessing 6,868. Archangel Michael says, everything you've done until now, cleansing, forgiving, preparing, has been essential. But without your voice, the final key remains unturned. What was sent against you last April was activated by a voice. And now, it must be broken by one. Silence was once your survival strategy. You kept quiet to stay safe. You didn't speak because you feared being misunderstood, ridiculed, or seen as arrogant. But that era has ended. Your voice is no longer optional. It is your weapon. Spiritual blocks cannot survive where there is sustained declaration. Your words are not empty. They are frequencies. And frequencies create form. The reason your atmosphere shifted when you prayed wasn't emotion. It was energy aligning with authority. And now, you must speak with divine intentionality. You must build a new world with your voice. Michael says, tell the earth what to do. Speak to your money. Prophecy to your future. Begin with your morning. Before you check your phone. Before you scroll. Stand up, feet on the ground, and say, I command this day to favor me. I speak alignment into my finances, wisdom into my decisions, strategy into my steps. No energy sent to block me will survive this atmosphere. I am chosen. I am covered. I am rising. This is not motivation. This is divine alignment. Type I am commanding my day to get the blessing 4,571. Next, speak into your wallet, your bank account, your business, your workspace. It may feel foolish at first, but the spirit realm understands bold language. Say you are not empty. You are not closed. You are not cursed. You are a vessel of provision. I declare that divine currency flows here. I reject every lie that says money must come with struggle. I am aligned with ease. I am aligned with overflow. Every time you make a financial decision, whether paying a bill, buying groceries, or investing in your future, speak into that moment. This is seed. This is strategy. This is sacred. I am not losing. I am circulating abundance. These words will reprogram the patterns that the financial block tried to instill in you. Because it wasn't just stopping money. It was trying to teach you to fear money, to resent it, to run from it. Not anymore. You are now a carrier of divine currency. That means your words are part of your wealth. What you declare becomes the energetic instruction, and what you repeat becomes the spiritual blueprint. Your affirmations are not just cute, they are construction tools. Every sentence you speak with belief lays the foundation for the abundance you've prayed for. Don't build passively, build prophetically. Type I am building with words to get the blessing 6882. Speak even when you feel resistance. Speak especially when nothing looks different. That's when the shift is near. Archangel Michael warns, one of the most dangerous moments in the reversal process is silence during warfare. When you feel the attack intensify, don't retreat. Raise your voice. The enemy cannot read your thoughts, but it trembles at your declarations, especially when spoken from a place of revelation. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are not invisible. These are lies whispered by the old block to keep you muted. But now, heaven has increased your volume, and you must use it. When doubt enters your space, speak louder than it. Say, doubt, you are not welcome here. Confusion, you do not belong here. Delay, you have no dominion here. I am under divine alignment, and nothing shall pull me out. Even in private moments, before sleep, in the mirror, while walking, release declarations. Speak over your body. I am whole. I am steady. I am radiant. Over your mind. I am clear. I am focused. I am strategic. Over your future. I am ready. I am walking into overflow. I am covered in divine wealth. This repetition breaks the old cycle and constructs the new one. Type I am rewriting my reality to get the blessing 3745. Michael says your voice is not just your power, it's your portal. When your declarations become daily practice, you become an atmosphere. People feel your alignment before you speak. Doors open before you knock. Money flows before you ask. Because you're no longer just reacting, you're commanding. You're no longer waiting, you're walking. And that's the posture heaven was waiting for. Some of your biggest breakthroughs will happen right after a declaration. You'll speak into the air and a call will come. You'll affirm abundance and an idea will download. You'll rebuke confusion and suddenly clarity will land. Don't miss the connection. This is no longer mystical, it's mechanical. Speak. Watch it. Receive. That's the formula. Speak first. Heaven responds to sound. Sound breaks chains. Let the world know. A new voice is rising. A voice no longer tethered to shame. A voice no longer tied to doubt. A voice no longer hiding behind other people's comfort. You are not just rising. You are roaring. And when you speak, what was blocked begins to move. When you declare, what was stolen begins to return. When you shout, what was hidden begins to break open. If this message has encouraged or inspired you, consider showing your support with a super thanks. Contributions of up to $20 go a long way in helping us continue creating content that uplifts and empowers. You can also support us directly through PayPal by clicking the Support Here link in the video description. Every donation helps us keep sharing messages that make a difference. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Join us for ongoing prophetic insight, spiritual encouragement, and timely words to keep you walking in step with heaven's purpose. Type I am walking in full voice to get the blessing 9330. Archangel Michael says, what's coming to you is not random. It's timed. The release was always scheduled, but the block was meant to confuse the clock. And now, you're standing on the edge of a divine window, a precise moment when heaven has aligned everything for breakthrough. June 10th, 2025 is not just a date, it's a portal. A moment where what was withheld must start moving. A date that was once marked for pressure is now marked for reversal. If you respond in time, this is your spiritual due day. You've been in labor with promises, visions, goals, and strategies that felt stuck in the womb of delay. And now, the contraction is here. It may feel like stress, confusion, pressure, or exhaustion, but Michael says that's not resistance, it's release trying to break through. When destiny kicks, it stretches you. When overflow arrives, it demands new space. You're not breaking down, you're birthing out. June 10th is a divine announcement to the forces of darkness that they must retreat. But retreat doesn't happen automatically. Retreat happens when your faith rises and your authority is activated. That means no passivity, no venting, no hiding. This isn't the season to whisper your desires. This is the moment to roar them. The window is open, but you must step through it with conviction. Type I am stepping through the window to get the blessing 6181. Timing in the spirit works differently than in the physical. While the natural world ticks in minutes and hours, the spiritual world opens and closes in obedience. That means heaven doesn't operate on your feelings. It operates on your faith. When the prophetic clock strikes, those who hesitate miss it. That's why this message found you now, because the window is real. The countdown is real. Your release is real, but it's conditional. Don't think for a moment that what's coming is guaranteed just because it's revealed. Michael says, prophecy is not a promise, it's an opportunity. A door is opening, but will you walk through it? Will you shift how you move? Will you invest in the vision? Will you forgive faster, speak louder, sow bigger, trust bigger? Or will you fold your arms and say, I'll wait and see? Those who wait passively miss what was meant to be seized actively. This is not meant to scare you. It's meant to awaken you. The level of urgency you feel right now isn't panic. It's alignment. It's the echo of heaven saying, move now. Don't delay. Don't look back. Don't doubt the signal. The enemy tried to delay you with distraction, tried to slow you down with exhaustion. But now, Michael has broken the static. You can hear clearly again. Don't second guess what your soul already knows. Type I am moving in divine time to get the blessing 4474. Pay attention to divine signals leading up to this window. You'll see numbers repeat. People you haven't thought of in years may resurface. Dreams will intensify. Downloads will drop into your spirit mid-conversation. You'll feel a strange pull towards certain ideas, places, or people. That's not coincidence. That's alignment unfolding. Every small nudge matters now. Heaven doesn't shout in this phase. It whispers. Be still enough to hear. Michael also warns, don't sabotage the window with distraction. This is a time to focus, to cancel the coffee chats with people who drain your fire, to mute the voices on your feed that speak from fear, not faith, to stop scrolling for comfort and start listening for clarity. This is your upper room moment. Those who stayed focused when others scattered were the ones who received the fire. And the fire is coming again, for you. You've been entrusted with time-sensitive destiny. That means your obedience is not just for you. It's for the ones connected to your breakthrough. Your children, your community, your legacy. There are people waiting on the other side of your yes. There are doors they can't walk through until you walk through yours. Your activation activates others. Your alignment unlocks lineage. Type I am on divine schedule to get the blessing 7217. Don't let this be another moment where you look back and say, I knew something was happening, but I didn't act. Heaven is serious about timing. You've cried enough. You've waited long enough. You've wondered long enough. Now it's time to move. To show up. To launch it. To say yes. To sign the paper. To send the message. To record the idea. To bless the space. To stand in the window and not blink. You're not late. You're right on schedule. The block didn't cancel the blessing. It only postponed it. But now the clock has restarted. Heaven is on your side. Angels are surrounding you. And the moment hath been marked. All that's left is for you to say yes with your actions. June 10th was once the day the block would spike. Now it's the day your blessing will break free. Type I am crossing the threshold to get the blessing 5555. Archangel Michael says, now that the block has been identified, broken, and reversed, it's time to become the version of you who was always meant to carry abundance. The battle wasn't just to free your money, it was to free your mind. Because without a new identity, the old cycle will find a way back. You cannot enter this new season wearing the mindset of someone who was blocked. The curse is broken. The door is open. Now step in as the one who owns the promise. This new identity isn't about arrogance. It's about accuracy. You must now see yourself the way heaven sees you, trusted, stable, wise, favored, and worthy of wealth. You are no longer hoping for overflow. You are aligned with it. You are no longer begging for help. You are prepared to bless others. You are no longer scrambling for crumbs. You are sitting at the table with strategy. This is your identity now. The wealthy soul. The aligned vessel. The divine distributor. Michael wants you to say this aloud. I am not chasing money. I am attracting it. I am not controlled by fear. I am led by purpose. I no longer carry the vibration of lack. I walk in the frequency of favor. I no longer ask permission to prosper. I have divine authorization. I am the blueprint. I am the access point. I am the shift. Let every part of your being agree with this declaration. Let your body rise into it. Type I am the shift to get the blessing 7111. The enemy never feared your hustle. It feared your awareness. Now that you're aware of who you really are, everything changes. People will sense it. Doors will recognize it. Even environments that once rejected you will feel the weight of your new identity and make space. Your identity shifts your atmosphere. That's why heaven didn't just bless your hands. It first had to heal your view of yourself. Because if you still saw yourself as broken, you'd reject what was trying to land. Every action you take from this moment forward must reflect your divine identity. That means no more playing small. No more shrinking in rooms where you're called to lead. No more underpricing your services. No more apologizing for asking what you're worth. You're not overcharging. You're operating from overflow. You're not demanding. You're drawing. You're not just another option. You are a divine solution sent to unlock others. Michael says to check how you speak to yourself. Is your self-talk still tied to survival? Or has it been renewed by your reversal? Stop saying, I'm bad with money. Say, I'm learning how to multiply. Stop saying, no one supports me. Say, the right people are finding me now. Stop saying, I always mess things up. Say, I am aligned, and I walk in divine rhythm. Your mouth must match your miracle. Speak as one who knows who they are. Type I am who heaven says I am to get the blessing 3636. There will be moments when you feel the old pattern try to return. A delay, a rejection, an acceptance. And it will whisper, see, nothing's changed. But Michael says, that's not the cycle returning. It's the test of your new identity. Will you agree with what you see or what you know? Will you slip back into fear, or will you stand in your authority? These tests won't last long, but your response will determine how fast the next level unlocks. In this new identity, you must also walk differently in relationships, no longer explaining your vision to people who don't carry your frequency, no longer wasting energy defending your rise, no longer bonding over shared pain when you're being called to shared purpose. Elevation requires isolation, not from love, but from limitation. You're being set apart for leadership, and not everyone will understand it. That's okay. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be undeniable. From this place, decisions become easier. You will know what to say yes to. You will feel when something isn't aligned. You won't need 30 signs and 20 confirmations. Your identity will be your compass. When you walk in truth, clarity comes fast. Your mind sharpens. Your instincts quicken. Your peace deepens. This is the fruit of alignment. This is what the old block was trying to keep you from: clarity and identity. Type I am walking in clarity to get the blessing 8888. Heaven didn't bring you through all this to drop you now. You've been refined, elevated, delivered, and now commissioned. You are no longer walking under a cloud. You are walking in a calling. Your finances are not just about lifestyle, they are about legacy. You will teach others how to rise. You will break generational limits. You will fund movements. You will rewrite the narrative your bloodline believed for decades. Michael says this next level comes with new language, new posture, new associations, and new outcomes. You will be surprised how quickly things shift when you stop pretending to be who you used to be. You've already been seen in the spirit. Heaven has called you wealth carrier. Now the earth must echo that sound. Don't elude your destiny. Step into it. Speak from it. Spend from it. Serve from it. Build from it. Be it. Type I am fully activated to get the blessing 7410. Archangel Michael says, you were never meant to stop at breakthrough. Breakthrough is just the beginning. Now comes the expansion. Now comes the legacy. What's about to happen in your life isn't just for comfort. It's for continuation. Heaven is not just increasing your finances. It's increasing your impact. You've been trusted with overflow, not to flaunt it, but to multiply it. You are now stepping into the multiplication mandate. This mandate means your wealth must now serve a greater purpose. You're not just paying bills, you're building systems. You're not just sowing into needs, you're sowing into nations. You are being positioned to become a distributor of divine solutions. But before that distribution can begin, you must be clear on your assignment. Michael says, sit with God and ask, where does my overflow belong? Because misdirected seed produces frustrated harvest. Multiplication begins with intentionality. Every dollar you receive carries a divine instruction. Some to save, some to sow, some to invest, some to enjoy, some to release. But none of it is random. Money in your hands is no longer passive. It's prophetic. You will begin to sense where your money should go before it even lands. That sensitivity is a spiritual gift. Use it. Let the Spirit direct your overflow. Type I am a divine distributor to get the blessing 6393. You will feel a fresh pull toward legacy projects. Writing that book. Starting that business. Mentoring others. Building a nonprofit. Launching a digital platform. Don't ignore those nudges. They're not distractions. They're directions. They are instructions embedded inside the abundance. When God increases you, He also enlarges your capacity. That means your vision must stretch. What once felt too big is now within reach, because the version of you required to do it has finally arrived. And don't worry, Michael says divine help is already on the way. You won't build legacy alone. There are people assigned to assist you. Some are spiritual allies. Some are business-minded. Some carry administrative genius. Some carry wisdom your bloodline never had access to before. Be open. Watch for confirmation. The right connections will come when you commit to the right cause. Clarity attracts divine collaboration. Multiplication also requires protection, not fear, structure. You will need systems, contracts, and boundaries. You will need to budget with discernment and build with accountability. The enemy will try to send counterfeit opportunities disguised as expansion. But Michael says, you will know by the peace. If it forces confusion, it's not from God. If it disrupts your clarity, pause. The right expansion won't come with chaos. It will come with confirmation. Type I am building with precision to get the blessing 8848. This next chapter will redefine what success looks like for you. It won't just be the size of your income, but the size of your influence. The people healed because you obeyed. The lives elevated because you showed up. The generations secured because you did the internal work. Your wealth will speak long after you're gone. That's what legacy is. It's not just about now. It's about what continues after you. You will begin to notice the shift in your language and thinking. Instead of asking, how do I survive this month? You'll ask, how can I build this for the next 10 years? Instead of praying for a raise, you'll start designing revenue streams. Instead of reacting to problems, you'll begin anticipating opportunities. This is how legacy-minded leaders think. You are not stuck. You are strategic. You are not overwhelmed. You are organizing. Michael also says to pay attention to sudden insight. You will receive blueprints in your sleep, solutions in conversations, clear instructions while worshiping, walking, or journaling. These are not random thoughts. They are wealth codes. Do not dismiss them. Write them down. Pray over them. Ask them. You're no longer in a season of surviving off other people's downloads. Heaven is now giving you your own blueprints. Type I am a legacy builder to get the blessing 2922. As you build, remember, humility is not hiding, it's harnessing. You don't need to explain your rise. You don't need to justify your wealth. You don't need to tone down your anointing. You were chosen for expansion, not permission. What you carry is not arrogance. It's assignment. And when you walk in that confidently, heaven backs you publicly. You're not competing. You're commissioned. Walk like it. And finally, expansion requires rest. You cannot multiply from burnout. Michael reminds you, rest is warfare. Rest is how you reset your spiritual vision. Rest is where the downloads drop. Rest is how you honor God's timing over your own striving. You will not have to grind like you used to. That season is over. Your next level will come from rhythm, not rush. From strategy, not stress. From obedience, not overexertion. You are now entering divine expansion. Not just more money, but more meaning. Not just bigger numbers, but deeper impact. This is your divine promotion. And it all began with one truth. The block is broken. The blessing is moving. The flow is multiplying. And you are no longer the same. You are the chosen vessel of financial legacy. Type I am in my expansion season to get the blessing 4650. Archangel Michael says, this is the moment we seal everything that's been broken, revealed, reclaimed, and restored. The financial block that was placed on you last April is now fully exposed, fully severed, and fully reversed. Heaven has spoken. The interference has no more legal right to remain. And now, you must carry the evidence of this divine reversal, not just in your faith, but in your life. You are no longer bound to cycles of lack, delay, or survival. Those patterns are expired. You've been rewired for abundance, for overflow, for legacy. The struggle that once identified you has been replaced by wisdom. The silence that once paralyzed you has been broken by your voice. The fear that once shadowed your decisions has now been eclipsed by divine clarity. You are no longer the blocked version of yourself. You are the blessed version. This message didn't come to entertain you. It came to awaken you, to remind you of who you really are. A chosen vessel, a divine conduit, a restorer of generations. Your hands were made for more than holding crumbs. They were designed to manage wealth with precision, purpose, and power. Your wallet is no longer a graveyard for dreams. It's now a birthing place for vision. Everything about you is shifting because you finally said yes. Michael says this message will echo in your spirit for weeks to come. But you must not sit still. Take the steps. So where you're led. Speak what you now know. Move with boldness. Build with grace. The enemy thought this delay would stop you. But instead it shaped you. You are not behind. You are right on schedule. And now the door is open. This is your charge. Protect the flow. Walk in your new financial identity. Prepare your space continually. Speak with daily power. Invest with discernment. Forgive without hesitation. Rest without guilt. And above all, multiply with purpose. Because heaven has already voted for you. The earth is already responding to you. The future is already pulling on you. And your season is already here. Nothing is missing. Nothing is broken. It's time. If this message has encouraged or inspired you, consider showing your support with a super thanks. Contributions of up to $20 go a long way in helping us continue creating content that uplifts and empowers. You can also support us directly through PayPal by clicking the support here link in the video description. Every donation helps us keep sharing messages that make a difference. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. Join us for ongoing prophetic insight, spiritual encouragement, and timely words to keep you walking in step with heaven's purpose. Type I'm walking in my release to get the blessing 9999.